Hello and welcome to the first official episode of the Good Talkers podcast, a podcast all about being a voiceover artist and working in this fantastic industry. So let's meet the Good Talkers team. I am Tessa Livingston and I am joined by Deanna Cooney. You can say hi.
Hello.
And we also have Ashton Haugen.
Hello.
And we are joined by our fabulous producer Jordan.
Yeah, what's up, guys? That's me.
All right, so we are so excited to be bringing this podcast to you. We are all super enthusiastic about voice work and living in this industry. So let's jump straight into it. Today, we are talking about the $20 job. How difficult it can... Oh, I know, right? So how hard it can be to really get paid what you're worth within this field. Does anybody have any major experience with this, just to jump in there and get going?
I mean, I definitely do. Shamefully, I have experience in this. I just, when you're starting out and you're so, you want to impress people and you want to build up your resume, and falling into the trap of doing the $20 job, I feel like I don't want to say it's a rite of passage, but I feel like it's definitely a good lesson that you need to learn. Why it's bad, why it's not just bad for you as an artist, but why also it makes the whole industry, it's bad for the entire industry. It makes the whole industry drag down its collective pricing. And, I think there's a lot to be said about someone who wants to hire you, who only wants to pay you $20, versus someone who wants to hire you because you're right for the job, no matter the cost.
I think it's really interesting because I am a repped voiceover talent. I have an acting agent. I started as an actor. My acting agent became my voiceover agent, and that's how it's gone for the entirety of my career. And I can tell you that the not $20 jobs, the jobs that people have good budgets for and pay good money for, absolutely still exist, even with $20 jobs out there, right? And I think that kind of work is always going to be there. I'm also a professional photographer, right? And I can tell you that those cheap-ass jobs, they exist in every single industry, whether it's creative or not. There's plumbers that will unclog your toilet for hardly any money, right? But what kind of job are you going to get for that? And I like to look at it as there's always tiers to every industry, right? And I don't mean crying tears, although you might be crying tears if you have to do $20 jobs all the time, right? But there's all of these tiers, right? And there will always be people with shitty, small, tiny budgets who still want stuff done, right? And I think as talent, it's up to us to decide where in the market, what tier of the market we want to insert ourselves into.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, because unlike you two, I jumped into voiceover quite sporadically. It sort of just happened because I did my voice background and my speech pathology stuff, and then I did acting, and then all of a sudden it was just available to me. So I signed up to a website that was like, yeah, we do, little jobs for radio and stuff like that. And the first couple times it happened, I was like, $20? Oh yeah, cool, that's all right. And then it took me about 3 weeks to be like, ooh, I think my knowledge and skill level, just like you were saying, Dan, my tier is a little bit above this. And they would send one through, and I'd be sitting on the couch with my partner, and he'd be like, oh, what do you look upset? And I was like, oh, I have to do a 30-second commercial for $30. I was like, oh, yeah, so I didn't appreciate that at all.
So you have to also remember that you're not just getting paid for your time. Say it only takes you 10 minutes to record that 30-second commercial because you're good. But you have to remember that they're not just paying you for that 10-minute chunk of your time. They're paying you for all of your talent, your knowledge, your training, your everything that you've done to prepare for this job. That's what they're paying you for.
Yeah, and I think the thing that I found so interesting about that, because that's what I had, my logical part of my brain was telling me that. The other part of me was like, be thankful. It was like that whole I felt guilty for wanting to be like, I think I'm worth a bit more than that. And I didn't But it was like, yeah, be thankful you're getting jobs, because I'm a repped agent. I'm a repped voiceover as well. And I remember thinking, well, I did a job for these guys and I got, like $700 or $800. Why am I doing the same kind of caliber thing and only getting 20? But I'm not getting so many of those bigger jobs just yet. So be thankful, be grateful that you're getting this.
I think that's a trap that I think a lot of people fall into very early in their career, right? And here's the thing about voiceover. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. It matters how good you are at doing it, right? Like the length of time that you've been in the industry matters jack shit to everybody that counts, right? To you, maybe it matters. And maybe to the other voiceovers that are in the space, maybe they're, they judge you based on the amount of time that you've been in the industry. But the people who are buying your voice, buying your product, buying your service, they don't give a shit, right? What they care about is the output and the product that you deliver. And if you've been in the industry for 2 minutes and you can give them a really highly valuable product, that's all they care about, right? So you've got to be really careful not to go, well, I'm new, so I have to accept these low rates and I should be just grateful for every single person that even pays the slightest bit of attention to me, because that attention has value as well, right?
Right. I think it's really important to remember that there's a saying that I've heard before, and that there are no beginners in voiceover.
Yeah.
There are no beginners. Either you're right for the job or you're not right for the job.
100%.
That's it. There's no beginners. So you're either going to be great at it, no matter how long you've been working at it, or you'd be working in this industry for 20 years and still be crap. There's no in between. You're right for the job or you're not.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that is such a big trap to fall into, I think, for myself, because I haven't changed careers a lot, but I've sort of changed focus within my career quite a bit. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm starting again, so therefore I should be, near the bottom runner. And that's just not how that exists at all.
Totally, right? Because you're not actually starting again. And this is one of the things that I feel, being a long-term actor, I've been doing this for 25 years, right? So having had that history, right, has taught me that I bring every single experience that I have in my life to the microphone. Every single experience that I've had in my life influences the choices that I make around my delivery and the skill set that I bring to the space. So it doesn't matter what you've been doing up until the point you decide to become a voiceover talent, right? Everything that you've done, you bring with you, and it all counts.
Right. You're never starting from scratch. You're always starting from experience. No matter what that experience is in your life, you have experiences that you can bring to the table that are going to make you who you are. And being yourself and being who you are is going to make you the best voice artist, because they're not looking for cookie cutter people. They're looking for what you can do with this script. They're looking for what you can do with these words. That's what they want to hear.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. This is so good. I just love it. It's just great. This is just great. So I actually have a question for you. I have questions. No, questions. I want to know how long you did the $20 jobs for before you were like, I'm out, because I was about a sum total of 3 weeks.
So I unfortunately did it probably longer than you. I had jumped into this career unexpectedly as well. After being a teacher, I had found myself at a crossroads in my personal life and needed to start over, basically. And so I jumped into it knowing nothing. I have nobody in my life who's a voice actor. I have nobody in my life who does this. I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew I really liked audiobooks. And so I wanted to jump on the audiobook train. I started doing a little bit of research and I got into doing audiobooks for ACX. And ACX can be a fantastic place for independent authors and narrators to hook up and get their books narrated. However, I fell into the trap of people saying, oh, you're new. And they heard my voice. They knew I sounded good. They knew that I obviously had come from an acting background. I've been acting since I was 4 years old. But I didn't know. I didn't have the knowledge of what it is to be an audiobook narrator and how long it's going to take. So in audiobooks, a lot of the time your contract is that you get paid per finished hour. So you hear that, and when someone offers you $40 per finished hour, you think you're making $40 an hour. Me, someone who knows nothing about the industry, thinks that sounds fantastic. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be making $40 an hour. But when you break it down, that is not how it works. Because if you're good, it usually takes, if you have an hour of audiobook, finished audio for an audiobook, it usually takes you probably 4 to 5 hours of recording, editing, all of that just to get there.
So you're on $10 an hour now, maybe
exactly,
less.
Exactly. So I fell into that trap and did it for a long time, way longer than I would like to care to admit. I do not do that anymore. But at the time, it got me through getting into this job, but it was a huge learning experience. And I hope that other people don't fall into the same trap.
I want to bring up the concept of portfolio building, right? Because I think it's a really, really important element of this conversation, right? So it's really important to build a body of work, really important to build a body of work. I mean, you can go out and pay someone to produce a demo or something like that for you. And that's, of course, something that you're going to want to consider at some point in your career, right? A professionally produced demo. But early on, you just want to be building as much as you can, a portfolio and demonstration of the kind of work that you're doing, right? And it's also really useful for you as a developing talent, right? To have, like, be able to track how your craft is developing as you go, right? So as a portfolio building option, I think doing cheap or free work is totally viable. But that doesn't mean you only do cheap or free work, right? It just means that you make very, very, very strategic decisions about the stuff that you do cheap or for free. Because if you're doing crap work for free, that ain't portfolio building, right?
No,
That's
not.
just practice. That's it. So I think if you're going to go down that path of, oh, okay, cool, I'll do whatever comes up because I get to build my portfolio. Do you want a good portfolio or a shit portfolio? Like, that's the question that you've got to ask when you're stepping into that space.
Absolutely. And I have a really good story actually about that. Starting earlier on in my career, I'm a newer voiceover artist as well. I've only been doing this for 3-ish years. So I am by no means I am still in the baby pool of voice talent. However, one of, I think, the best decisions that I made early on in my career is that I got an offer. I think I found it through one of these pay-to-play casting sites that I got sucked into. However, this guy found me and he said, "Hey, I'm doing a podcast. I wrote it. It's called the Cobbler's Gulch Podcast, and I auditioned for it, and I got 2 characters." He said, "I cannot pay you to do this. If the podcast takes off, then we'll have discussions after that. But I can't pay you." But after reading the script and after hearing some of the other actors do their characters, I couldn't say no. So, I mean, all of us did the whole thing for free, but that's how good the script was.
Yeah.
And I am proud to direct people to that when they ask me,
Yes.
like, "Hey, give me a sample of your, I play the main villain in that particular podcast." And so when they want a sample of that, I send them there because I am proud of that performance and I'm proud of that podcast, even though I didn't get paid for it. I still love it. I would have done it for free again because I feel like it's that good.
Yeah.
I think that's I think that's kind of the whole point of all of this is know when it's okay to do that sort of stuff. Because if you get an epic script and you absolutely love the project, do that for free. It's when you get those crappy little things, those terrible little radio commercials, and you're like, why? This isn't adding, like you said, Deanna, this is practice. This isn't adding value to shit for me. This is just something that I have to do. Whereas like what you're saying there, Ashton, it's like, I read the script was incredible, and therefore I decided to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And on that idea of practice, that's another thing that you have to be really careful of as well, because if all you're doing is low-end work, you're dealing with low-end scripting and you're dealing with low-end production, right? And so you're practicing in a space that does not prepare you to level up, like ever, You know,
Oh, that's
if
such an interesting
all
thought.
of the practice that you're doing is in a tier that you don't really want to be in, all you're doing is getting better at that work, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually really, really important that if you're going to practice, you practice expanding your skill set. You practice in the space that you want to be in ultimately,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's so yes. So, okay, well then here's a fun question for everybody. What is that thing that they're moving into to try and level themselves up? Personally, what I'm doing at the moment is that I'm listening to anything and I don't even listen to the music on radio anymore. I listen to the commercials.
Yeah.
And I am straight off the bat mimicking them and trying to follow what they've done and go, oh, I wonder why that was interesting and why they chose that. Because at the moment I want to do, yes, I'd love to get into cartoons, but I'm really just like honing that whole commercial thing at the moment. Are you two like, what are you doing? That's weird.
I always do that. Whenever we're listening to the radio in the car and my boyfriend starts talking during the commercials, I'm like, shh, wait, no. Hold on, let me hear that.
Shut up. I'm working. It's like that.
Yeah.
It's like that, you know, like that Reels thing that was really big maybe a couple of weeks ago that was like, I'm working. I'm working. No, I'm working, right? That's what happens when we listen to advertising now.
Yeah.
I'm working on character voices because it's not something that I've ever spent any time in. I've been a commercial voice talent for a really long time, right? And I've had to up level my commercial skill set many, many times in that, 20 plus years, right? But what I've never really learnt well is character voices. Now I'm an actor, right? But I'm quite a naturalistic actor. So all of the voice acting work that isn't commercial based, and I've done a bit of work in animation and that kind of stuff, independent animation. It's all been very naturalistic. I want to learn how to do crazy ass voices, right? So my family hear me walking around the house saying stuff in a weird voice like all the time. My kids are like, what is wrong with mum?
I love that.
Why is she making those noises? Right?
What's funny is that that's how I talk to my dog. And so like now my dog, like he just thinks that crazy people are normal because that's what I'm talking to my dog.
That's because I did the exact same thing the other day. An ad came on, or like it was SpongeBob SquarePants, and the chocolate lady came on from SpongeBob SquarePants, and I like because that's kind of what I'm learning. So I made Andrew rewind it so that I could go back and record the chocolate lady. And then I went and found her on YouTube, and then I recorded myself trying to learn how to do her.
I saw. It was awesome. Like
it was adorable. I loved it. I saw it too.
Go check out Tessa's like Instagram and it's actually
TikTok.
TikTok that you're doing it on, but I saw it on Instagram. Like go check it out. It's great. It's really, really cool.
And I spent like 20 minutes trying to go and get my voice down as low because I've got a little bit of a stressy person from time to time. I've got a bit of stress living in my throat, and so I spent ages trying to just like what are you selling, and trying to figure out how to get there and drop it. And honestly, it was the most fun I had. But my partner is just like, I can hear you from the other room.
Yeah.
Stop
it's
it.
so funny. It's so funny. It's so funny. Hey, that is a really, really good segue into our Sounds I Can't Make segment.
Yes. For those of you who are new, which also includes us, we are all new to this today, is we have a segment called Sounds I Can't Make. And this was born out of the fact that, again, my partner, I spend 90% of my time with him. I'm not talking about him way too much. He can make these cool sounds with his mouth, and I can't do them. And it makes me really angry. So I've recorded him making some sounds. So the first one, this was a TikTok phenomenon for a little while as well, or like Instagram, social media. It went around saying that girls can't make this sound. And today we're going to trial it. So I'm going to play the sound for you, and then we'll talk about it. So here goes the sound. Make sure my thing's up. Now, that is your classic machine gun sound. So we'll go one more time.
It sounds like what he's doing is putting his top teeth against his bottom lip and like doing like a syncopated breath through his teeth and lip.
Like Okay. Well, look, I'll play it again,
know.
but I'll show you. I'll show you. So this is
Okay. Oh, no, he's just full lips
he's got
forward.
his lips.
Yeah, so his lips are completely open, and
Right.
he reckons it's his tongue against the back of his teeth.
Oh, my God, I'm
Okay.
trying to just... Okay, all right.
Okay,
Are we going to have a go?
I think I
I
can
wish
do
our
it.
viewers could see what's going because everybody is like moving their mouth in this ridiculous kind of like, you know, like when something's too hot and you're trying to like bite it without it get your lips. When we get all of our socials up and running, this will be on there. So,
All
right, Deanna, I want to hear your machine gun.
Like that machine gun or the machine gun I can do? Okay,
No,
I'll try that
no, I
one
want to hear
first.
that machine gun.
All right.
I'm sorry.
It sounded
Jordan's
like
laughing.
it sounded like a sad balloon deflating.
That's what it felt like.
Aw.
Right, Ashton, go.
Okay. I have never made this sound before in my life, but we're going to go. Here we go. Oh, that was... Hold on. One more time. I
Go
can
again,
do
go
this.
again, go again.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
All right, test. You have a go, and then we should do another round because maybe it's one of those muscle memory things. Like once you've like sent the neuromuscular like kind of messages down, maybe you could do it a second time or something.
Yeah,
Just have a go.
Yeah, and we must, Jordan, you're next because
Awesome.
the whole theory
I'm
that
definitely doing this.
girls can't do it. That was the whole theory. It's been disproven, obviously, for very obvious reasons, but it just I think off the bat, girls just can't do it. So this is serious shit. I'll get myself in position. Whew, okay. I can't stop laughing.
Hey, that was the closest.
Very
It's just
slow
a
machine gun.
It's a very slow. It's in
It's
slow
broken.
motion.
That's broken.
It's a broken
Right.
machine gun.
Jordan, give us a go.
You guys aren't going to win any wars with those machine guns.
Oh, that sounds like you know how to do it. Is that a...
Well, I'm sitting here thinking I think I can do this, but without having ever done it before. But
All right, let's talk.
gonna
Let's
be
talk
proven
more machine
wrong.
gun.
I'm going to be proven wrong.
That's not it.
That's not it. No, that's not it either. First one was a tongue trill. Second one was
Alright.
the lip trill.
All right.
No.
Well, okay. All right.
All right, are we going
What's
for
he
round
doing?
2? We're going
Let's
for.
try.
We'll try. Do you want to go round 2, or shall I explain what's happening?
Yeah, explain what's happening first so that we've got some like physiology to play with.
Yes,
And let's
sweet.
try again.
Cool. All right. So what's happening is that we're using really solid air pressure. It's kind of like how you would do a solid tongue trill. It needs that pressure to keep things going and moving. I think we've got cheeks tight and lips rounded, like hyper rounded. So, and then it's. I'm just spitting everywhere every time I try it. So it's like the tongue is going bang, 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 bang against the back of the teeth.
Okay. And we're deliberately making our tongue do that. We're not just letting it hang and the air makes it happen.
Well, he tried to explain to me what he's doing, and what he said was very contradictory, so I don't know. So I think both are an option. Either hard and fast with airflow so that the tongue is forced to move. I don't think you could physically make your tongue move that fast.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I know I can't.
Yeah.
I can't even do a trill. So like, there's no
see,
way.
I can do a trill. Trill, right?
Yeah. Oh, that was better.
I'm making a t sound though. I'm just
Oh,
going,
yeah.
but with a closed mouth.
Maybe that's what he does.
I think we need to hear it again.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Oh, it's
Oh,
so
I'm out.
fast.
I'm
That's
out.
so
I can't
Fast.
do
It's
that.
so fast. One more.
Too much.
I can't do it.
Do you think the listeners are trying to do it?
I
Oh,
hope
100%.
so.
I hope
Yeah.
so.
If you're
Me
not
too.
doing it, I'll be very
I
upset.
hope everyone's spitting everywhere right now.
Yeah, they need to
Wipe your
send
stuff
in
down
their
afterwards,
versions.
everyone.
Send in their versions of this. I think that would be funny.
Yes.
Excellent idea.
I would love
Excellent.
that.
Yeah. We'll do like a Instagram or like a TikTok. Stitch this with people who can't do it against people who can.
Right. Can we show
Ashton.
how we can actually do machine gun sounds now? everyone should like do their version of a machine gun sound. I think you should start,
okay.
Tess.
Oh, my version of a machine gun sound
Yeah.
is like a like that's my version.
That's not a machine gun.
Yeah, but I can't do a machine gun. Is my best version, and it's a D.
Good.
So it's a
Yeah.
it's like jaw chattering. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
What about you, Ashton?
I can't do a machine gun sound. My closest is not close at all. It's that's it. That's all I got.
It's a fancy sounding machine gun.
Yeah.
I like it. I've got two, right? I've got which really is like a Tommy gun from the 1920s, right? Or I've got pew pew, which is totally a laser gun.
The first one to me, it kind of sounds like a goat.
See, I thought it sounded like Janice from Friends. Like that's her laugh.
I just did a character voice. Amazeballs.
You did.
Chandler. Like that's
Same sound.
Oh my gosh. All right, cool.
yeah. That's build a character off of that, Deanna. And
Yeah.
you've got life
All right,
sorted.
Done. Life goal tick.
Life goal, absolute tick. Where do we go now?
Okay, cool. This is going great, by the way. Jordan,
I
what do you
think it's
think? Is it going
Yeah,
well?
it's good. Yeah. Keep going. Keep doing what
Alright.
you're doing.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Yeah,
Well, we're
the
at-
hands up works really well. It's working really good.
Yeah, and I liked as you were sort of getting towards what you knew you were about to finish saying, you sort of pointed, because that meant that people could flow on really easily. I thought that moved really well too. Oh, I know how to jump back into the next bit.
And we can always put like little musical interludes or something like that in between bits that we didn't segue neatly, can't
Yeah.
we?
Yeah. Lots of podcasts do that.
Yes.
It's kind of cool when you associate the sound with the podcast as well. It's like another thing that ties you to it. The transitions. It works good for transitions or transitioning into ads. They do that as well. So
Yeah.
What about length of time? How long do you guys want these to go for? And then maybe I can give you some cues and things if it's helpful.
Yeah. I think the first one we wouldn't want to push it, like at the moment I think we're sitting at about 30 plus like a little bit of that, like whatever, if that goes in. I think if we got anywhere past 40 on our first one, we're expecting our audience to really buy into us before they know us. You know, like I think between 30 and 40 is aces for the first one.
Cool. Awesome. So what we've got left is what's an exercise or new thing you've been using, right? And then we've got like outro, like audience info.
Yeah.
And I think we should definitely put in there, send us your machine gun sounds, right?
Yeah.
Whatever they are.
Yeah.
Pew, pew, pew. Right,
Well,
whatever.
I'll if I make a TikTok channel for this, I can go, this is what we did, stitch this with us and show us what it is. And we can put that through Instagram. Yeah, I can put that through Instagram as well. So that can go on my list. I thought what we could jump into just to help sort of wrap up the topic is go, okay, cool. Now that we've made a fool of ourselves, what is some advice for our young VOs who are kind of stuck in this, so that we can wrap up that bit or
Wrap up the discussion.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that people
Yes.
feel like they got something.
Yes. Do we still do the exercise or new thing, or do we just want to go straight into, do we want to move that exercise new thing to the next episode and just go straight into wrap up, finish?
I'm thinking move it, because this one, I think because we've had a bit of fun, I think people will want to be more instructional from us down the track. If that's what
agreed. Agreed.
Yeah. Cool.
Agreed.
All right. Okay, so shall I just intro into the advice bit?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get myself back into it. Okay, right. Now that we've made an absolute fool about ourselves, I don't know, any one of those sentences is absolutely fine. I want to ask if anybody has any advice for our young VOs out there, or even people who have been in it for a little while that are stuck in this, doing $20 job kind of thing.
Yes. Like, be really, really clear about why you're doing it, right? If you know why you're engaging in this particular space, and this goes for any space, anywhere in the voiceover profession, right? if you know why you're engaging with it, you'll do it until you've got what you need, and then you'll move on. Or you'll use it as a platform. You'll use it as a bridge, a springboard, whatever analogy you want to use, right? But don't just be there waiting for something to change, right? Because it'll never change. You will just keep getting yourself more and more entrenched into that space. So know why you're there and have a strategy for where you're going to go next and how you're going to get to that next place.
Yeah, 100%. And I also, what I find really, really valuable is that the day that I decided, this is all mindset stuff as well. The day that I decided that I was worth more than the $20 one, I emailed a company and said, hey, these are my rates. Do you need somebody? And they came back and said, yes. So, you, and I think, Deanna, actually, you said this to me, once you get rid of the things you're not doing, you allow space for the things that you want to do. You give it space to come into your life. So, yeah, once you've used it for your purpose, start pushing those boundaries and start being like, well, actually, these are my rates because this is how good and how skilled I am.
Yeah. And you don't have to step up big amounts, right? You can go from $20 jobs to $30 jobs if you want, and then to $40 jobs and then to $50 jobs, right? Like take as much time as you need to level up, but be conscious of whatever need, requirement, desire you have to level up and factor that in.
I think you are just a wealth of wisdom, Deanna. Like you have been in this industry for so long, and it's so great to hear all the things that you say to us newer voice artists, because you're spot on. Like I never thought about it in that way, that oh, well, I'm just getting better at being at this level when I really want to be at this level. So I need to start trying to reach for this level, if I want to be there. Yeah. And I think that's really profound. I love that.
Oh, great. Excellent.
You're so wise, Deanna.
Oh, stop it.
Stop it. Stop it. But keep going. Stop it.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. Producer Jordan, do you have any wise words?
Yes. I don't know if they apply to this particular topic, but I think you can apply this to any business. I was sitting here thinking this is relevant no matter what you do. Even in my field in audio engineering, I think it's the same deal. You can apply that, and doing the things for free for a reason, for a proper purpose that's going to help you grow and go in the direction you want to go, rather than just doing it for the sake of having to do a lot of these things to pay the bills. Yeah, that's my wise words. And Tessa, what are yours? Back at you, mate.
I don't have any.
Gotcha.
I don't have any wise words, but I do have the wrap up for today. Thank you so much to all of our listeners. It has been such a joy to have you with us, listening and talking about everything voiceover. Now, if you have any cool voiceover stories, if you have moments from the booth that you want to share with us, please email us at thegoodtalkerspodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you, and hit us up on our socials as well. We'll have a TikTok, an Instagram, and a Facebook, and you can stitch some videos with us and show us your awesome machine gun sounds. Anything you want to do, we would love to hear from you.
And look, we also absolutely adore voice messages, right? Because if we can hear your voice telling us your story, then we get a much bigger experience of what that story is like. So, feel free to email. Email's great, right? We'll read your story out, never fear, right? But if we have you telling us your story, it's even more powerful, this is a podcast about using your voice.
Right. So hit us up on those TikToks and those Instagrams. We really want to know your story, but we want to hear you and maybe see you too. So.
Yeah.
I'd love to view a person. That sounds nice. Right, that is I'm going to try that again. Right, that is art. Why do I keep saying that? That is it from us. Fuck. That should be cut, right? That should be cut. Everybody, that is it from us.
He's shaking his head no.
Go again,
definitely not getting cut. Again. That is staying in there 100%.
That is it from us. I'm done. That is it from us. Next week, we'll be talking about the expectations and the realities of being a voiceover artist and what that actually means. Thank you so much, and goodbye.
Bye.